back to Paragon Martial Arts and Fitness. We're going to be bringing you new videos every week for martial arts strength and conditioning, as well as self-defense videos, kicking drills, striking drills, things along those lines that are going to really help take your martial arts game to the next level. So what we're going to go over today is, for those of you that are into the grappling aspect of the martial arts. So what's included in this is going to be very heavily based in Hapkido, Judo, and Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm sorry I said those in the order that I am proficient in them, so it doesn't have to be for any one of those in that order. But what we're going to do is we have a few different implements here. I love using kettlebells for this stuff because it's just a great grip training tool. So we've done a video before. We're not going to cover too much on some of the previous stuff, but kettlebell swings and snatches, we're not going to go over today because we have those in another video on our channel. If you look back a little bit on the conditioning drills, those are going to be some of the best movements that you can do for the reactive proprioceptive grip training. So also if you're into any type of weapons like stick sparring, anything like that, those would be good for that as well. So this is going to be some of the best bang for your buck things that you can do. Probably the number one on here for everyone, and if you don't have one of these, why not? It's a wrist roller. So this stupid little piece of gear is probably one of my students' least favorite things to do, my fitness and martial arts students. It doesn't look like a whole lot because it isn't. It's a piece of PVC, some rope, and a, what do we even have on here? 4 kilogram, yeah. So 4 kilogram, a 9-pound kettlebell. If you want a great grip burner after you're done with your session, and I would recommend doing this after a training session, if you do it as a standalone, it better be on a strength and conditioning day, and it better be after you're done with whatever else you're doing, unless it's an off day, which you can do it a couple times a day then. This is a very misused tool because a lot of people will use like their whole body to do this, or the other thing they'll do is the T-Rex arms. Okay, not a big fan of the T-Rex arms. All right, there's a point where doing this too much is going to wind up causing you more problems, which is, I've done that before. My shoulders were trashed from years of this stuff, and I couldn't even put a gallon of milk in the fridge without some shoulder pain. So we want to skip that. So posture up nice and tall, shoulders tucked down and back. What we're going to think about is first turning the throttle back towards you. Okay. The reason we want to do this is because we don't work the extensors a lot, and we need to have some balance with this. A lot of people are just going to work grip, 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 all the closing, all the flexors. We don't want to be doing that. We want to think extension here, okay? So we're working the opposite side here, and we're going to be rolling up. Notice I'm not doing this, okay? I'm rolling back from the side, roll, roll, roll. I come all the way up. When I get to the top, I'm going to go all the way back down, okay? Don't just let it drop. When you're done with that, you can go the opposite direction. You can work the flexors a little bit here, but then on the way down with it, notice I'm still rolling back. I'm not letting it drop to train my extensors a little bit more. If you do up and down is a set, okay? Up, down, and then continue the same direction, up, down again. So you would roll back towards you, roll away from you, keep rolling away from you until the kettlebell or weight plate, whatever you put on the end of the rope, comes back up, and then roll back down, okay? That's basically going to be it. Do that for a set, 2 sets, 3 sets, until you can handle a little bit more and a little bit more. That for me, my grip's a little toast from yesterday, so I'm not going to do a ton of those, because that already burns. So the next thing that we're going to do is a bottoms up. We've done a little bit of this bottoms up work, but really the idea behind this is going to be farmer's carries. These are going to be the biggest bang for your buck, just in general, and we're going to cover a couple different versions of this. Start with your hand on the kettlebell like you're going to do a push-up on the bell. Clean the kettlebell into place. Now here's a mistake a lot of people make. I'm just going to go from the side. Well, a couple mistakes. Losing tension in their abs. I'm using my low back, my lumbar spine to support this. I don't want to do that. Posture up nice and tall. Tailbone tucked, abs braced tight. Elbow is braced in nice and tight to the side. Okay? I am not death gripping this. If you look from the side, I'm not white knuckle gripping. I don't know if you can see from here. This should not be super tight here, okay? Just balancing this. We're watching kind of the top of the kettlebell out of the corner of the eye. Don't let it kiss you. It does not feel very good. This is also cheating. If you're going to lose the kettlebell, if it tips in, let it swing back and drop it down. If you lose it to the outside, rotate your stance towards the bell and let it drop down. This is also going to be a great way to help work on your reaction for something swinging at you, because nothing says move out of the way like, 16 kilogram bell coming at your knee sideways. That'll mess some things up. So, or heavier if you're going to be using heavier. Max distance carries with those is a great finisher. Do it one time. One's all you need. People overdo this stuff, and you don't need to, okay? The other one, these I just grabbed a couple light bells here just for the sake of demonstration purposes. Suitcase, here, either holds or farmer's carries. I see this a lot, and I see this a lot. Okay, people are just kind of like struggling through this to go to death. Posture up tall. So if you have trouble carrying them, stand in one place. Here. If you want an awesome, like no holds bar, mental and physical battle, grab a pair of 32 kilogram kettlebells and try and stand here for 10 minutes without moving. Without moving. See if you can do it. The last time I did it, I had to set the bells down like, I don't know, probably it seemed like 10 or 12 times. I'm not sure. I kind of lost count after like 5. But the tough part is not moving. It's going to be a great way to do that. 2 more things we're going to do here. Weight plates. So I just grabbed again some light ones. You can use whatever you want. Pinching the weight plates together here. Okay. So we can do either single-sided, one side and the other. Just walk around. These are super light, so they're not really too difficult. We're just pinching here like this. You can work your way up to a pair of 45-pound plates with this. If you can do it with a pair of 45-pound plates, no one's going to be getting your grip off of them ever, no matter what they do. So, great way to build some grip strength, some clamping strength here. Now, the last one, especially for those of you that are doing competitions that involve gi, which is going to be probably one of the best ones that most people aren't doing, you do need a set of weight plates that look like these ones, where they have this little raised bit in the center. There's a lot of them that will have this to a point, but you need one you can actually get your fingers around. And try and do this without chalk, if you guys use chalk. If you're really going for like a max burn finisher, a little bit of chalk on the fingertips isn't bad. I know a lot of people like swear by chalk, but there's a concept that Pavel Tsatsouline talked about a while ago. This is grease your grip, comrade. It's a great way to make sure you're actually using your grip strength. There's a lot of the stuff that you'll watch people like chalk the snot out of their hands for. And if you're doing a competition or like every once in a while you're trying to like go for a complete max, like that's it, type of finisher, it's okay. But that uses the tactile, like the stickiness of your hands, and has less to do with your grip strength. Not that it doesn't work your grip, but it has a little bit less to do with your grip strength than it does to do with how, how sticky your skin is basically. So these ones what we're going to do is we're just going to do like a pinch here, like this, and we're going to pick these buggers up. These are only 5 pounds, but again, standing here like this, yeah, hands are shaking already. Just stand here for a max hold, and you can see my left arm starting to shake. That's all I got with those. It doesn't seem like a whole lot. We have a pair of 2.5 pound plates we did this with a few weeks ago, and I had some of the strongest guys that I trained. So I had one guy who's like a 490 pound deadlift, could not make it from one end of the floor to the other end of the floor. It's 50 feet, hanging on to, I think it was the 5 pound plates he was struggling with. Granted, it was at the end of a kettlebell workout, but still, to not be able to walk 50 feet gripping those like that, that says something for a guy that has a deadlift that heavy. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's, 40 pounds over mine. So grip strength is super important for this kind of thing. And that's going to be more of like the endurance aspect of that. Again, if you want like more of the proprioceptive, like quick gripping, grabbing, Nothing beats a lot of the grip drills that you can do with your partner, but this is like accessory exercises after the fact. So wrist roller, bottoms up kettlebell carries, suitcase carries for farmer's carries, and then plate pinch, and then the plate grab here like this, where we're grabbing onto the inside. So again, these ones we do with 2.5, 5, and 10 pound plates. Oddly, smaller plates are a little bit harder, but mix it up and do all of them. Maybe do like a max carry with the 10s, then the 5s, and the 2.5s. You're gonna have to kind of dig around and shop for a specific plate that'll work for that for you, because some of them don't have a big enough ridge. One more thing I'm gonna leave you with that is gonna be just kind of a good general grip strength / whole body strength accessory thing to get into on top of your martial arts. Just gonna bring you over here real quick. Rock climbing. So we have this rock climbing wall right here that we've put up inside our facility. It's more for traversing from left to right. I do have people that will climb like straight up routes here, but this is gonna be another great way to build your grip strength here, because if you look at some of these holds, you know, some of them are super easy to grab onto, like this one. It's got this nice bit that we can get into here, versus this one's gonna be a little harder. You have a little bit of a ridge here to get your fingers into, but not so much. This one's more of a foothold, but we will use this here to help like grab, pull, and then like pin yourself down to the wall while you're hanging on to some of these lower footholds down here. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. Rock climbing gyms, you can get some plywood and some T-nuts and put something up in your house or wherever you're at like this. Just make sure it's reinforced and strong enough. We had to reinforce a few things here. And the rock climbing holds aren't super expensive. You can pick up a whole box of rock climbing holds for about 100 bucks. So some great conditioning tips for you guys. So feel free to let us know. I'm just gonna put this camera back down here. Feel free to let us know if there's any other tips or specific training advice that you're looking for when it comes to strength and conditioning. So we're going to keep putting up videos every week. If there's something that you feel that would benefit you in your training, drop us a note, send us an email, or comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the videos, all that good stuff, so we can keep bringing you some great content. We know what content people are wanting out there. Like I said, also, drop a comment below and let us know if there's anything specifically you'd like to work on. With that, I'm going to sign off, and we'll catch you guys next time.